Bettis here, and we're going to go ahead on to question number 2. So, as I said in the beginning, you are a cancer survivor. Mm-hmm. Yes, you are, which is an amazing thing. God is good.
God is so good.
Yes, He is. Yes, He is. So I wanted you to take me back to when you first heard about it. As a woman, I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
The thought in my head when if somebody said that to me. What were you thinking when you heard the words breast cancer?
Yeah. Well, first let me say, don't try to imagine it. You don't want to. You don't want to imagine it. Just live and be thankful.
Be thankful that I don't even have to know how that feels.
Exactly. So, first off, I had an idea that I was going to have it when I took my mammogram, and that's what really got me, because I have a mammogram every year, and sometimes every 6 months. I had a problem a couple times, so I was having them 6 months. So when they found it, I could not understand why it was as large as it was with only a year. So when they gave me the first test, the mammogram, and the mammogram showed something, and I had been through that before. So then they wanted to do further testing. They wanted to do a biopsy, and then when they did the biopsy, they knew it then, but they wanted to go further, and they did an ultrasound. I had never had an ultrasound, and on the ultrasound, they almost showed it to me. They were talking about the dark spot that was on there, and so I just kind of thought in my head, if it is, I wouldn't be in shock, because I was listening to everything. So the doctor called me, and then I've talked to other people who say they didn't want to get a call from their doctor. Why didn't the doctor tell me? Why didn't the doctor call me into the office and sit and talk to me, and so on and so forth? In my case, my daughter and I, Kim and I, had the same doctor. And Kim actually had a doctor's appointment, I think the same day after they had gotten my results. So I told Kim, I said, when you see Dr. Chan, tell her to call me. That same evening, Dr. Chan called me. She called me. And I was home alone, and she called me. She says, you do have breast cancer. And I was like, I just, if you could have seen my face, I guess it probably would have just changed colors. It's like everything just drained. You know, and I was just like, no. She said yes. You know, and then she said, well, it's not so bad, because it may not have traveled into your lymph nodes, because it doesn't look like it has, and I'm going to make an appointment for the surgeon for you. And we made a surgical appointment. And
so you were home alone.
Home alone. And the very first thing after I hung up, I said, how do I tell the kids? That was my very first
thing.
thought.
That's such a mother. How
do I tell the kids? And I guess that was because they had just lost their dad, you know, a couple of years. And when I say a couple of years, those couple of years seem like 2 or 3 months. It doesn't seem like it's been that long.
Believe me, I understand.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. So that was
the pain
my
is still there.
first,
So that's, of course,
yes,
exactly.
my very first thought was, how do I tell these kids? And I since learned cancer is not a death sentence anymore.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what we all think.
And that's where my head was. And I soon learned. You learn how to live with cancer. You know, the dignity in cancer is how you live it. What do you do? You know, with it. You know, and I chose to just talk to people. You know, I talk a lot about it. You know, whenever I do a speaking engagement, it's always about what I went through and how I survived. I am a survivor.
Absolutely.
And what you need to do for yourself to get your head. You know, it's so many people deal with cancer differently, but I think the biggest way to do it is to tell everyone. That was the way I got through it. I let everyone know what I was going through.
Right.
So many people like to hide it. They don't want
Absolutely
someone to
don't
know.
want anybody to know. They don't want other people to know about it.
And I didn't think that was a good way. I chose to tell everyone, all my friends, my family, and I told them to tell everyone because prayer changes things, and
Absolutely.
I want prayer from everyone. I have prayer warriors all over the United States.
Absolutely.
And I felt that was my way of getting through it. And whatever I went through, I let people know. I called, I wrote, I told everyone what steps I went through. So if this happened to them, you know what to do. You know how to get through it. People sent me food to eat.
Yeah, I remember the lady who sent you the
lemon
balls.
drops. She sent me lemon balls. She told me how to do that. And then I had another friend that come over and bought me the pumpkin oatmeal to eat that. And she bought me juice. And people just sent me things and things that they had.
And if you had not reached out to people and let people know,
you would never have known.
Yeah,
you would
absolutely.
never. See, that's what I'm saying. You never would have known. Yeah. Peppermint, different things that people eat and use because the chemo is rough. Yeah. You know, and at one time or another it does take your taste and food is bad. So everything you can get, you know. I mean, I got in the mail. I got hats. I got scarves, robes. I got Bibles. I got everything, and it was
helps.
It really does. Yeah. To know you got so many people supporting you.
Absolutely.
It does, and I don't know. The support is really what I needed and what I lived through. You know, my family support was there. My sister, I can't say enough about her, where she was at. The only thing with her, the one thing she said to me, we were at one of the doctor's office, and in the beginning, and she just kind of leaned over into me and she said, I just want you to know I'm here with you and I'll be with you, but I'm not cutting my hair off. And I told her, don't worry about it. You don't have to, because she's a serious hair person.
Yes, she is.
If you know her, you know she's serious. She said, she just whispered, I'm not cutting my hair off. That's all right to you. So, but other than that, I mean, I really did. So I'm always here for whomever wants to call and talk. And I do a lot of talking about it to different people. I'm younger women, older women. Yeah. In my case, I was older, and in the older women, it moves slow. It's not aggressive. That's younger women. I hate for younger women. It takes off. Yeah, so
it does.
They have to get a different treatment. So.
Well, thank God again.
God pulled me through this. Absolutely. I'm telling you, God is so good. He's just great. I mean, I prayed so, and I talked to him, and I really got closer to God. I've always been a spiritual person, love God, believe in God, the Word, everything. But this really takes you.
Yeah, and then that closeness, that knowing and loving is a different thing, but that actual close line and that time spent,
that right there, that's. So that's different. I spend a lot of time.
That stimulates the soul. That gets you through those steps.
I spend a lot of time in the bed, laying there, and that's when you started thinking and talking. I just talked to her, just talk, you know. My sister told me one time, a long time ago, ask him for what you want.
Yeah, and we never do.
And we never do.
We never
I didn't understand. I didn't know what she meant when she told me that. She said, ask him, and I did.
We have a conversation with him,
ask him that question. God, help me. Help me through this. You got me. You got my hand. Pull me through this. And I swear to God, I believe he did.
Absolutely he did.
I believe he did.
Absolutely.
I know so many people that just have not made it, so.
Yeah, during the time frame that you were sick, I had a friend, my friend's mom. Yeah. She was going through it, and she's going through it for the second time. But it was a different cancer. They found out she had breast cancer this time, and she did.
And she did survive.
She did survive. So it is the will, and in your will. Yeah, and it is. Yeah. And it's something that everybody, I think, needs to donate to research.
Yeah.
Because a cancer doesn't have a gender or race.
You're right.
Or age.
You're right. It does not.
It takes everybody.
It takes them all.
Yes, it does. It takes on everybody, no matter who it is or what you're going through. Right. So make sure you donate to.
Oh, definitely.
All cancer, all these foundations mean a lot to breast cancer
yes,
research.
They do.
Well, I thank you so much for sharing that with me.
Oh, you're welcome.
We will be right back with questions.